Hi guys, Stephen here. First of all, I just want to say if this is your first time coming to the blog, welcome. And make sure you check out all of the resources on the website here. And for those of you who've been coming every week, make sure you use this blog as a resource for yourself. You make sure you ask questions if you need to, or share ideas and thoughts with others, and so we can create a sense of community here and help each other on our journey. So this week, I was just at an event here in Las Vegas. And as very often happens, people come up to me at the event and they say, Stephen, where do you get all this energy from? How are you able to be up on stage for 10, 12 hours a day and it doesn't even seem to faze you? What is the secret to your health and vitality? So I thought it might be a good time to share some of those secrets, because I've been studying this for 20 years. And the reason that I've done that is because I have such a strong mission, a vision, and a purpose for my life that it's not just important for me to stay healthy, it's absolutely imperative. So the first thing you need to do is you have to have a strong enough why it's so imperative for you to be healthy. And I've done that. The other thing I want to say is, look, it's taken me 20 years to come up with all this stuff, to study it and implement it in my life. And it's a gradual process. So I'm going to share a lot of information with you here, but I would recommend that you don't try and do all of these things right away. What we're actually going to do is we're going to post up on the site all the things that I do, itemized, and how you can find them and what they are. But I wouldn't recommend you try and do it all at once. Take a couple of ideas and implement them in your life. And when those are solid and you're using them, add a couple more. Just choose one or two to begin with. So as I said, my primary source of energy and vitality is my passion for life, my mission, vision, and purpose. And in order for me to be able to live my mission, vision, and purpose, I have to have a lot of energy. So I've realized that everything we put into our mind and our body is critical. It has a biochemical reaction, and that then causes us to feel a particular way. So if we're putting substances in our body, whether they're food or drink or whatever it is, or negative thoughts, obviously that's going to have an impact on our energy. So I'm going to go through some of these resources with you, some of these things that you might not even thought of are so critical, and share with you what I do to keep healthy and vital. So first of all, one of the keys is getting enough sleep. Sleep is where our bodies regenerate and get revitalized for the next day. And so often people tell me that they have a really hard time sleeping. And very often it's because what they're doing prior to trying to sleep. They're being too active, they're overstimulating their mind, and then they can't get to sleep. So getting enough sleep is very, very key. People say, well, what can I do to get myself into a state where I'm ready to sleep? Well, some of the things you can do are you can read, meditate, have sex, all three. But those are three things that can really help get you into a place where you're ready to actually get to sleep. Now, some people say, Stephen, I don't have time to read, I don't have time to meditate, and I don't have time for sex. Well, you need to find time, because if you don't, you're going to find yourself getting sick. And then where are you going to find the time to get healthy again? So we get out of every area of our lives what we put into it, right? And so we have to take the time each day to make sure we revitalize ourselves, that we give our bodies the chance to release the stress that has accumulated during the course of the day and prepare ourselves for the following day. So sleep, very, very critical. Now, I'll be honest, I don't sleep the same number of hours every week. Some nights I get very small amounts of sleep. But over time, I make sure I discipline myself that I average at least 8 hours sleep a night over a period of time. I don't necessarily get 8 hours every night, but I'm going to make sure that if I miss a couple of nights where I don't get 8 hours, I'm going to make that up, however I need to do that. The second thing is, and I kind of just mentioned this, is meditation. There's been all kinds of stories and ideas about meditation, whether it's a good thing, whether it's a bad thing. It's a good thing. It gives us the chance to revitalize. Every day, most of us, when we get out of bed, right, we wash our face, we wash our bodies, we cleanse ourselves from an external perspective. But what very few people do is to release and cleanse all the negative energy that has accumulated during the course of the day. And meditation is a way to do that. And it's been proven now scientifically that people who meditate tend to live longer and live better quality of lives and experience better quality feelings and emotions every day. Because if we don't release the stresses that we're caught up in each and every day of our lives, if we don't release them every day, and they're building up in our body and accumulating, and ultimately that's what creates dis-ease in the body. Now, there are all kinds of fallacies about meditation, and some people are told, when you meditate, you're going to completely blank your mind and not think about anything. Well, that's not realistic. Most of us are living lives that are going so fast that to try and stop on a dime would be like trying to stop a speeding train in a second. It's not going to happen. So don't put any judgment on your meditation. Just make a commitment to yourself that each morning, and preferably each night, you're just going to sit and be still. Just close your eyes and relax. And let whatever thoughts come to the surface. Don't judge them, and don't say to yourself, oh, I'm thinking things, so this isn't working, and give up on it. Just take it as a time to release energy that's accumulated during the course of the day. I'm going to do a video on meditation a little bit later on. The other thing is that the food we imbibe is so critical. So wherever possible, I use organic food. And I eat a lot of vegetables and fruits so that I'm putting the right kind of foods into my body. Green foods as much as possible. Green foods are known to have the highest source of the sun's energy. That's the highest level of energy that we can have in our bodies. So organic foods. I also alkalize. The body has a pH range of between 0 and 14. The balance for our bodies is that we're designed to be slightly alkali, which is about 7.2 on the scale of 0 to 14. Unfortunately, most of the foods that we eat, that we take from the supermarket and eat and put in our bodies, are processed foods which tend to be very acidic. So most people are over-acidic. And if you think of a car battery, if a car battery gets too acidic, what happens? It starts to corrode, doesn't it? So we are really corroding from the inside out because we're not, for the most part, eating enough alkalizing foods. So now there are all kinds of products out there, water machines that you can buy that will actually alkalize the water for you, so you're getting your body back into balance through alkalization. And the interesting thing is, when the body is in an alkaline state of 7.2, it will actually just automatically adopt its normal weight. Very often people find it difficult to lose weight because they have so much acid in the body that the body protects itself from the acid by putting fat around the acid, and it won't let it go until the body becomes more alkalized and it can let the acid go out of the body. Interesting. So we also, Jen and I, when we travel, and obviously we travel a lot, we use an emulsifier. So we actually carry that with us wherever we go. So we have to be disciplined and focused, and we have to make this a priority in our lives. An emulsifier is different than just a juicer. An emulsifier, you actually put the whole vegetable or the whole fruit along with some water in it, and it actually will emulsify it into a juice. So you get the pulp and the actual juice as well, which is better for you, and it's less hassle cleaning it up. So we take an emulsifier with us. We have protein. We put a protein powder in there. We use vitamins, and we use, as I said, wherever possible. It's not always possible. Wherever possible, we use fruits and vegetables that are organic. I eat a little bit of fish, a little bit of chicken, a little bit of meat. More fish than chicken, and more chicken than meat. So I'm not a vegetarian. I do eat a little bit of those things. The things that I avoid caffeine, gluten, dairy, alcohol, bread, sugar, salt, smoking, of course. And I did smoke for 20 years. I smoked from when I was 9 to when I was 29. And it was not easy to give it up. But by giving that up, by giving that addiction up, I remember there was a time when I thought, I could never imagine me not having a cigarette again. And I could never imagine this craving for wanting a cigarette to go away again. But what happened over time, the craving got less and less, and it got easier and easier not to smoke. And I gotta admit, I still have nightmares where I actually go back to smoking and I wake up just so grateful I didn't. So, people often say to me, oh, caffeine, you're saying coffee is bad for you? There's proof that it's good. Well, anything has negative and positive side effects. You could actually take strychnine and it can have some positive effects, but do you really want to be putting that in your body? Caffeine really is a poison. And the reason that we feel stimulated and more energized when we put it in our body is because it's increasing the metabolism, because the metabolism is trying to get it out of the body. So it moves faster to try and get the body to sweat, to get it out of the pores. And if you have too much of it, it'll make you physically sick, just like alcohol is a poison the same way. So look, I'm not saying give it up completely, but I am saying start to lower the amounts of these things you put in your body, and you will see a much more positive effect than you're getting from using it. So, again, don't try and do all this at once. If you do a couple of things and then implement those and then gradually go to these things over time. And also processed foods. As much as you can, avoid processed foods. And where are we moving to in terms of health and nutrition? Well, as you can see, we're becoming less and less healthy because we're dependent on a healthcare program that fixes the problem. And what we're moving to is more preventative measures so we don't get sick as often because it's becoming so expensive, which is actually a good thing. It's driving us towards really being healthy. So we're moving towards vegetarianism, vegan, raw foods, locally grown foods, and using technology that is allowing us to replenish and replace hormones that have been destroyed through abuse of our body. So bioidentical hormones are going to become more and more prevalent and more popular. So those are some of the things that I do to stay healthy. Certainly not all of them. We're going to post some of these on the website. But here's your dare for this week. And for those of you who've been watching the videos, you know, I always say Socrates said, learning is simply remembering. In reality, we know all of these things inside of us, and we've lost our way along over time. And the Greeks had a saying, saper ord, which means dare to be wise. Have the courage to do the right thing, the wise thing in life. And I've used the acronym DARE, D-A-R-E, for Daily Active Remembering Experience. So your dare for this week is to take a few moments and look at the consequences of not being healthy and develop a strong enough why so that when I share with you the things that I do on a daily basis to stay healthy, that you will start to adopt them in your life, utilize them, and have the health and vitality so you can live the life of your choice and your dreams with the energy and vitality to enjoy it at the highest possible level. So take the time to do that. And here's my other challenge for you, my other dare for you, is to put it on the blog here. Make a public statement of intention that this is something that you are committed to doing now, that you're not going to let the foods and things you drink and imbibe in your body control your life anymore, that you're going to take back control and live a healthy and vital life. Thanks for watching this. Next week, we're going to talk about the specific things that I do to stay healthy. Thanks for watching.